There was one thing that I left out of my costume college video. There was one thing that ended up on the cutting room floor that was important. And that was the whole time I was at costume college, I was journaling every night, even if it was really late, even if I'd had enough. I was writing down even just a couple of things that had happened that day. I was journaling about the great conversations I'd had, the best things that had happened, the nice things people had said to me. And that is something that I do all the time. I'm always journaling, just about, not every day. Sometimes it's late and I'm tired, but most days I write in a journal. And I have been doing for about 10 years, pretty much non-stop. And I've had other times in my life when I've also journaled for long periods. Not only has journaling helped me to remember good things that happened, but journaling is a great way to just get all of the swirling thoughts and ideas off your brain so that you can be creative. This has helped me a number of times in my life. I've had times when I was just unhappy or unsure how to deal with my situation, or just generally a bit and not knowing what to do in my life. And in all of those cases, I've started journaling, just writing either every morning or every night, just writing down what's going on and how I'm feeling about stuff. And it's helped me to get through. And in some cases, it's really helped me to completely change my life. I can point to particular times in my life when I've been unhappy, I've journaled about it for a few months, and then I've changed everything and completely renewed my life. I've either ended a relationship or got into a new relationship or quit a job or started a job, or something has changed because I was getting it out of my head and onto paper. It's no good all of those thoughts just swirling around in your head. You can't make sense of stuff when it's all just going round and round your brain. It helps so much to get it out of your head and onto paper where you can look at it. And you would be in great company if you started doing this. I've been reading about the real Anne Lister, and she is known as a great diarist. Her journals have become an incredible historical document because she wrote in such meticulous detail every day about her everyday life. And something she wrote in her journal at a time when she was having trouble getting through, she said, "What a comfort my journal is, how I can write in crypt," she used to write parts of it in code, "all as it really is, and throw it off my mind and console myself. Thank God for it." And that was in April 1832. To write in a journal is a great way of getting all of those swirling thoughts out of your head into a place where you can really make sense of what's going on and change your life if you need to. Change what's going on. Find a way to deal with it. Even I've been advised to start journaling when I've been going through any kind of emotionally difficult time, because just to get your feelings out of your head, out of your body and onto paper can help. It's like having a friend to talk to. So if you haven't journaled before or you're looking to get back into doing it, there are a couple of pieces of advice I have. First of all, get a journal that you really, really like to write in. It's got to be, for me, it has to be a journal of this size with narrow ruled lines, I guess. I have small handwriting and I don't like writing on wide ruled paper, so it has to be narrow ruled paper in this format. It has to be one of these particular Bic pens. It's just nice to write with. So a nice pen, a nice journal that you like writing with is, it sounds silly, but that's one of the best things. You're only going to write in the thing if the physical act of writing is fun to do. Secondly, just write. It doesn't have to be great literature. I mean, there have been great diarists in the past who have become celebrated for the way they wrote about their lives. Don't think that it has to be well written. It's just a case of getting out of your head and onto paper. So you could just do that organically, or you could follow the advice of Julia Cameron, who wrote a book a few years ago called The Artist's Way, and she recommended for any kind of creative person, one of the greatest ways to get creative again is to write what she called morning pages, which is like journaling, but it was where you just take a letter-sized pad or piece of paper and you literally write in stream of consciousness, and you just keep your hand moving and write whatever comes out. And that is a great way. That's how I started journaling many years ago, about 1998. I started doing morning pages where you literally just almost without any thought at all just write, just move your hand across the page. You don't make it neat, you just scribble and just keep scribbling for, at least 2 sides of letter size A4 paper. And that was when I ended up leaving a marriage and coming out. I mean, I got so in touch with where I was and got to admit things to myself that scared the crap out of me, that I completely changed my life because of morning pages. So that's one way to do it, to just write stream of consciousness. Or you can do it with a bit more thought into it and just be writing, here's what happened today. It doesn't have to be interesting. It can be the most mundane things about your everyday life, but just getting it out onto paper, just getting stuff out of your head really helps you to just end the day. I do it at the end of the day, just to get stuff out of my head before I go to sleep. You can also do it in the morning. Julia Cameron recommended doing morning pages in the morning, and just before you start any kind of work for the day or any kind of creative work, just get all the junk out of your head so you have a clear head to get going. Finally, if you want to be extra about it, I've recently begun indexing my journals. One of the most interesting things is later on to go back through your journals and really read back and see objectively the kind of things that you think about habitually. Wow, I really worry a lot about this, or I think a lot about that, or this seems to be on my mind a lot. I went back one year, over between Christmas and New Year. I went back and read through all of my diaries for that whole year, and this is like overachieving. I went back through the whole year and I was able to see, wow, I have a real kind of trust issue. This year was really about trust, wasn't it? Like trusting the process. It's really helped me to see where I am in my life and where I want to go, what's bothering me, what I need to change. It's really a great way of turning a spotlight on the parts of myself that I may not be aware of and seeing how I can make my life better. In the first instance, it's great just to write, just to get stuff out of your head every day. And it doesn't have to be every day, but every few days even, just get stuff out of your head onto paper. But on a more long-term level, it can be really fun to go back and have that record of your life, and be able to go back and remember things that you will have completely forgotten and see just where you are in life. I can go back in my diaries 5 years and see, wow, look how much I've grown. Look how much I've changed and improved. Look how much better my life is than it was then. Because it's amazing how much stuff you just completely forget. You really only retain a very small percentage of what happens in your life, and by going through you can remember, oh wow, I remember that day, that was a really great day, or that was a really great conversation. You can enjoy your life more by going back through it. It's become a really essential tool for me to help me to stay sane and to get saner and to help me just direct my life. So I hope that inspires you and helps you to maybe give it a go yourself. Have you journaled before? Have you been doing this regularly? What is your experience with journaling? Tell me in the comments, and tell me whether you have any particular tips or insights to share about journaling, or what journaling has helped you do, or how it's changed your life. And I will see you next week.